Holding Simon Shin Ches, Sif Gimel. Last week we did about Kli, that's Muktzah Machmas Chasar and Kiss, and this week we'll go into Klisha Malach Al Isser. So Klisha Malach Al Isser basically is a Keli that it's meant to use for Davar Asr on Shabbos, the famous cases. It's a hammer, it's a Kli, it's meant to use for Isser, but you could also use it for Heter. And we'll see soon a Kli that's meant for both, what then it gets. But the Stam Klisha Malach Al Isser is that it's meant to use for Isser. It's not meant to use for Heter. Hammer is meant to use for Isser. It's meant to use to bang in nails. You want to use it on Shabbos for something else. That's Heter. So, says the Mechaber, Klisha Malach Al Isser, Mutter L'Taltula, you're allowed to move it on Shabbos. We'll leave the parentheses out for a second. Ben L'Tzarech Gufoi, so if you want to use it for itself, you're going. Kornish L'Zahavim, it's the hammer of the blacksmith, or a fachem from a goldsmith or a blacksmith. So you want to use this hammer now to break open nuts. So it's a Klisha Malach Al Isser. It's not meant for this at all. It's meant only for a Davar Asr. Still, you're allowed to use it or Kordin Lachtech by the Vela is a knife. It's not meant. It's meant to cut wood or something. And you want to use it to cut a devela dates. Ben the tzarech mekayma figs. Ben the tzarech mekayma the haim the tzarech l'shtamish b'mokem shakli munach. So the first thing is using the tzarech kufay, using it for itself. You want to cut a devela. You want to use the hammer to open up a geizim. But this thing is not meant for that. It's a Klisha Malach Al Isser. Still, there's a heter to use it l'tzarech mekayma, or shetzarech l'shtamish b'mokem shakli munach sham. You want to use the place where the Kli is lying. So you want to move the Kli, the Tzarech Mekayma, you need the space where the Kli is lying, so you're allowed to move the Kli because you want to empty up the space that's lying on. That's mutter. So the reason why this is mutter, there's a whole Gemara in Shabbos, which we're not going to go through now, but they asered Kalim, the main Kalim that were muktzah. For certain different Kalim, they will matter certain things. Some are in the Gemara what they will matter. But the Gemara comes out Lamaisa that a Klisha Malach Al Isser, they let you use it the Tzarech Kufay and the Tzarech Mekayma. And that's the only Kli they have that heter. That means a Chasar and Kiss you saw last week. You're not allowed to move the Tzarech Kufay and Mekayma. Right? A Muktzah Machmas Gufay, something that's a Muktzah, a rock, let's say, which has no usage at all. And you weren't miyachid before Shabbos. That's called Muktzah Machmas Gufay. You can't move the Tzarech Gufay, the Tzarech Mekayma. Because you want to take the rock and open and leave a door open with it. You're not allowed to do that. Why? Because that's a Tzarech Gufay. Something that's Muktzah Machmas Gufay, there's no heter to move it. The only thing that's a heter to move it, something that is Muktzah, is a Kli Shemalach Al Isser. You're allowed to move the Tzarech Gufay, the Tzarech Mekayma. But we'll see soon. Nam L'chama L'tzel. Umutter says on the Chaber weiter, Mutter lital misham v'lanicha ve'ezem mokem sheyitzer. You can take it from there. Once you take it, machmas gufa, machmas mekayma, you're allowed to take it and put it down wherever you want. Avol but mechama l'tzel, you want to move the kli because of the kli itself. If you want to save the kli itself, the hainu she'enet tzarech l'taltaloi el b'fnei sheyera sheyishaber ayaganei sham, then osir, then you're not allowed to move it. Also to move it.
Because then it suddenly becomes Muktzah Michmat Chesron Kiss, and then therefore that's like
No. It won't become Chesron Kiss.
Because if you know, but if you're afraid that if you move it, it'll actually be stolen. If you don't move it, it'll be stolen. Then you want to move it. Maybe it becomes instead of being a
no, it doesn't become a Chesron Kiss. That's the reason why. Okay. No, it's not the reason why.
Okay, that's what we were talking about. Why not?
No.
The minute you're moving it because you're worried it's going to get wrecked, doesn't it then become
No, this Kli, you don't mind moving it around. Muktzah Machmas Chesar Kiss means you're mapped not to move the Kli. That's what Chesar Kiss means.
What does it mean?
You're mapped not to move the Kli for anything, for any usage.
It might get ruined.
Because it might get ruined, the Kli might get ruined.
In its movement, it's going to get a delicate...
It might get ruined, and it's not because you're trying to save or something. You won't use the kli for anything else. You're makbid not to use the kli for anything else. This kli you'll use for anything. You'll use this knife for whatever you have to use it for, no problem. But the problem is it's outside on your porch. Someone's going to come and steal it. So you want to protect the kli. You want to save the kli. That they were not matter to move it. For that reason they were matter to move it. To save the kli, they were not matter for you to move it. Only the tzarech kufay and the tzarech mekoymai. But for any reason to save the kli, you're not allowed to move it. It's a very common child. They have it all the time. You have kli shamlachtal isser, you left it outside in your front yard by mistake. A rake or whatever it is, or shovel, it's okay, shamlachtal isser. And you realize it on Shabbos, you're not allowed to move it from the front to the back.
You can kick it.
We'll see in a second when you kick it.
What if?
We'll see about kicking it soon.
What if
You do a harama and you say, I want that.
Okay, we'll get to harama soon also. We'll get to harama. We'll get to everything soon. We'll get to everything. But it's definitely also to pick it up and move it to the back of the house. Why? Because it's not a tzarech mekoymai. It's not a tzarech kufay. What is it? You don't want it to get stolen. That's already mechama l'tzel. It's called moving it from the sun to the shade.
But what if leaving it there might cause an injury to, for example, let's say a surgeon leaves his scalpel on the front.
No, if it causes injury to somebody, something else.
Okay, so then
you not move it. We'll see. It's maybe called tzarech mekoymai. Because you can't sit on your porch now because you have this sharp thing there and someone may touch it.
Right.
We'll see that's called tzarech mekoymai. So there's no heter to move it for the reason of the kli itself, to protect the kli. That's also mechama l'tzel, it's called. Okay, so let's stop here a second. Let's see the Magen Avraham. Says the Magen Avraham, Shemalachta le'isr, Sif Koden Hey, Koloyma Shem Yuchedes l'davar she'asa l'asais b'Shabbos. It's miyuched. It's meant to be used for something that is also to use on Shabbos. So if you look in the Bi'alach over here, the Bi'alach in the on the Sif, the Bi'amaschol Kardam Lachtoich. So let's go through the beginning of it. If you go to the Da, it's like halfway down. The Da, the Kosev of Pri Megadim. You see it?
Yeah.
It says in the Pri Megadim, I brought down the Mishabura, the Chol, the Kli, She'roiv, Malachta, L'Isir, Hu Gamka, Mechal, Kli, She'malachta, L'Isir. A Kli that's most, he uses the two things. But most of his tashmish is meant L'Isir, it's still called a Kli, She'malachta, L'Isir. The Main Afkamina, if you let him move it, Mechama, L'Tzel. A Kli, She'malachta, L'Heta, we'll see, you let him move Mechama, L'Tzel. So if you have a kli that roiva is meant for iser, heavy rai me rajba, the Indian kedera, ayin sham. The case of a kedera is you have a pot. Now a pot is really called a kli shamlachta iser, because a pot is meant to cook.
With food or?
We'll see if it has, no, without food. Empty pot. You have a pot in your house, it's lying on your counter, and your wife washed the dishes before Shabbos. And then she forgot to put them away. And the pot's lying on the counter. Are you allowed to move the pot and put it away? The answer is you're not allowed to. It's a kli shamlachta l'isser. If you need a tzarech kufay mikam, you need a place on the counter for something else, and you're allowed to move it. But if not, a pot is called kli shamlachta l'isser. But the problem is, you use pots a lot of times to store the food in it after you cook. So it's really, when you're storing the food in the pot, that usage is heter. So you have a kedera, it's a kli shamlachta l'isser v'la heter. Says the Rashba, since most of the time you use a pot for isser, for cooking, therefore it's called a kli shamlachta l'isser. Even though sometimes they use it for heter. That's what the Rashba says. Ayin sham. Well, Fini is that, he says, this is the Bi'alacha Inira, the Zed Dafkam ikrahu rak l'mleches isser. The main thing is a mleches isser, v'rak l'pa'omim mishtamish bo l'heter. U'le'in zeh yesh raya mekadeir the mashmei rashba the kli shemalachta l'isser the ikra nasa l'tafshal. Says the Bi'alacha that only if the main thing is for isser, sometimes you use it for heter. But he says, aval im derech hakli l'shtamish bo l'shneim, for both things, Barak, shall the Isser Mishtamshem Bar Yasir. You use it more for Isser, but the derech is to use it for both. Minolan, the Makte Daite Minei, Taloi Asuya, the Malachas Heter, Gamkein, the Tzarachin. Says the Bi'alacha, which is a very complicated shaila, because when does a kli become a kli shemalachta l'isser? I use it for both. Let's stay with the pot example. Now the pot example.
We're talking about an empty pot. Like if the pot still has food in it.
No, the pot still has food in it. So then we'll see later on it's mutter to move it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because the pot becomes bottled to the food. It's only an empty pot. It's only an empty pot if you're not move it or not, and only mechama l'tzel. I mean, you don't want it to get ruined.
But it's a bad smell, disgusting.
So we'll get to the bad smell later on. It's an empty, clean pot. So it depends what type of pot it is. A pot, let's say a soup pot, they make soup in it, right? No one stores the soup in the soup pot. They finish making the soup and pour it out. But there are certain pots that people, it's meant to store food in. They have this, what's it called? Corningware, right. That you cook something in it and you're meant to serve with it. It's meant to use for serving, right? Those pots, you can't call them klishim lachta l'isser, because they're made specially in a way that you can use it to serve. And also, if you have smaller pots, when people make stuff in smaller pots, whatever it is, a lot of times they store it in the pot. So it really depends what type of pot we're talking about. According to the Biur Halacha, in order for it to become a klishim lachta l'isser, it has to be iker tashmishay is meant for cooking.
Like, that might be a frying pan or something.
A frying pan. No one stores anything in a frying pan.
Yeah.
A frying pan is a typical example, which is a kli shemalachta l'isser.
Yeah.
You finish the frying pan, you take everything out right away. It's never used for heter.
That's not really true, though.
The frying pan?
Yeah.
There's fancy restaurants where they serve you the frying pan. You know,
So with the frying pan,
your omelet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
small size, like a personal
Yeah.
But not in your
of.
house. You bring the frying pan to the table.
Japanese?
That's what I did one time. My wife did.
So it really depends on what type of pot we're talking about. But those are typical examples of kli shemalachta l'isser. But if it's used for heter, it's meant to be used for heter, it's mutter to move it. So if you have those corningware sitting on your counter and you don't want it to fall and crack, you should be able to move it on Shabbos. Because it's called a kli shemalachta l'heter v'la isser. And the kli shemalachta l'heter, you're allowed to move it tzarich mechama l'tzel. You'll be allowed to move it. But if your wife forgot the biggest soup pot on the counter on Shabbos, and you just want to move it, it shouldn't get ruined, then you're not allowed to move it on Shabbos. So that's the gather. There's other examples also of kli shemalachta l'isser v'la heter. In every case, you got to think of yourself what the main usage is.
And what is the percentage of heter and isur?
No, but kli that's meant for both. A kli that's meant for heter and for isur, the Biur Halacha comes and says, and
that depends on your usage or the general usage?
Your usage. Everything in muktzah depends on the Bible. Depends on the Bible. If in your house you store everything in pots, then I saw someone bring that tin foils on muktzah. Yeah, you know the
Tinfoil pans?
the pans.
Oh, really?
Pans. I don't know why they're muktzah. Tinfoil pans. If you make something in it, you always keep it inside.
Yeah.
So it's meant to store the food in it. Most people who make food in a tinfoil, if you bake, even if you bake in it, cook a little cake.
A lot of times you serve in it too.
Yeah.
They even make little holders that make them look a little bit nicer.
Yeah, serve
So you
it.
can bring
But
it
when
to
it's
Cut it in
empty,
tinfoils.
it's a duty. It's
Not empty.
Put away.
No, a clean one.
so
You have
keep
tinfoils lying up on the counter on Shabbos. You have on shopping and you left them on the counter on Shabbos. And on Friday night you want to put them away. If you hold it to kli shemalachta l'isser, you're not allowed to move it.
unless the mukama.
Let's not come. We'll get to if it's called a mukama. Let's say that because it doesn't look good, it's not called a mukama.
Okay.
So then you should be able to move it if you hold it to kli shemalachta l'isser. The tin foils are not kli shemalachta l'isser. Because anything you make in those foils, those pans, you store it in there. It's meant to store in there. You don't transfer it. Most of the time you don't transfer it. So the should be called a kli shemalachta l'isser.
And there's no issue the number of pans there are. Like, let's say there's more pans than you're going to be able to use.
It doesn't make difference. If it's kli shemalachta l'heter, you're not moving mechama l'tzel. Why are you moving it? Because it's going to get ruined. It's going to get bent, right? So you put them in its place. That's called mechama l'tzel. It's mutter. You're allowed to move it.
So just in terms of understanding, the Biur Halacha says, it seems to come out that it's Mesupik.
Mesupik, but he says a Kli.
But the Mishnah Berurah seems to be saying that it
so
falls into that category.
The Tzarech Ir, I think of the Bir Halacha, if you look at the Bir Halacha of Daikit, is mashma. It's a Kli that's Iker. You use it more times for Isser, but it's meant for both.
Right.
And that is says Tzarech Ir. In the Mishnah Berurah over here, I think he means a Kli, it's meant for both, equally.
Well, that's how you.
Okay. That's why I understood the Bir Halacha different than the Mishnah Berurah.
Otherwise, I don't understand.
Yeah, he says at the end Tzarech Ir. I think that Tzarech Ir is only because it's a Kli that Shal Isser Mishtamshim by Yoser. You use it more for Isser, but it's meant for both. And then he says Tzarech Ir. But a Kli that's meant for both equally, he says is mutter. It's called a Kli Shel Machal Heter. Equal usage, Isser and Heter. That's a Kli Shel Machal Heter.
So the way we should learn it, the Mishnah Berurah, what he's saying.
The Mishnah Berurah says, "What's this lashon over here? 1 second."
Because he seems to say Roiv.
Please down later on 1 second.
Are we in the same place? Yud.
Yeah, but in Yud it says Roiv, right? And in the Bir Halacha you blind Tzarech Ir on that, right? If Roiv.
Right.
But I'm saying if the equal usage, there he says somewhere that it's definitely called.
Right, but on that point alone, if it's Roiv, in other words, if you come back to the Kedeva, right?
Yeah.
Roiv times you're going to be cooking with it.
Sometimes
you put it to the Kedeva.
Right.
So it seems that the Mishnah Berurah and the Bir Halacha are saying two different things.
In the Bir Halacha comes, in the Mishnah Berurah comes out the Isser, and in the Bir Halacha comes out Tzarech Ir. Tzarech Ir, the Pashas mean that you can't do it. He's not matter it.
Okay, because it's the same person. That's what I'm trying to understand.
He says it. Mishnah Berurah doesn't explain it.
Right.
He says it's Asr.
Right.
In the Bir Halacha comes out Tzarech Ir.
That it might be a.
But that's only a Kli that
there
might be a heter, but it's only a Kli that's meant Roiv l'Isser. A pan is not meant Roiv l'Isser. A pan is yeah. He does say somewhere. It's used for both.
What about the Cholon pot custard? That's Roiv l'Isser.
Yeah, Cholon pot the l'chayr is
mutter.
Is Kli Shel Machal Isser.
The crock pot.
Yeah, the crock pot is Kli Shel Machal Isser.
But then
while the food is inside, you gotta move it.
yeah, okay.
When you finish with the Cholon pot, that's a shayla.
Even if it's finished just on your dining room table, let's say you brought it to the table,
Right.
and you finished the whole cholent,
Right.
you can't bring it off the table now?
Oh, that's
Can clear
you have to come with a different heter for that.
Okay.
If you bring the whole crock pot to the table, leave it on the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your wife empties it into a dish, right?
Right.
She empties it into a dish, let's say, and just serves the dish, have an empty cholent pot on the table, on the counter in your house. Are you allowed to move it? The chayr is Kli Shel Machal Isser.
No, you can wash it up.
The chayr is Kli Shel Machal Isser. The Bir Halacha brings the heter. If you look in the Bir Halacha, it's on the next sif really. The next Bir Halacha, Kli Shel Machal Heter. You see it? I'm b'Mishnah Berurah l'Inyan Kedeirim. Kamakam Nira. The Af Kishe Pinuha Ma'atafshel by Medet Abayis Mutter L'Taltel L'Salach L'Tzad Chutz. Why? To have a graf shal rei. It's a different heter. He brings the heter of graf shal rei. What's a graf shal rei? It's unpleasant. A dirty pot lying around is unpleasant, so you're allowed to move it away and put it away on Shabbos. That's why if it's not down on the table, it's unpleasant, you're allowed to take it out. Right? The have a graf shal rei. A dirty pot is a graf shal rei, you're allowed to move it. Once we start with that, we'll get into the next shiloh, which is not brought down in Mishnah Berurah, which is the shiloh, famous shiloh, of what's called tzarech mekaymoy. Pasha tzarech mekaymoy means I have something lying on my table, I need the space that it's lying on, so I'm allowed to move it, it's called tzarech mekaymoy. How about, I have a big dining room table, we sit on the first half, with 2 kids let's say, so we don't use more than the first half, everyone else is waiting for Shabbos, and the other end of the table, there's something lying on the dining room table. Now, I don't need the space, but it bothers me that it's there. It's not nice. Sitting on my Shabbos table is a hammer sitting on the dining room table, Right? It's not nice. It doesn't belong there. Here's a big machlokes in the Achronim, if that's called tzorech mekaymo or not. Because you don't really need the space where the hammer is. What you need is, you don't want the hammer to be there because it looks funny in its space.
Yeah, because it's safe to put a tablecloth on top to cover the table.
But that's something else.
No, that's
you want to put a tablecloth on the top, you just allowed to move it.
Well, no, but then it's sitting. You see,
No, but it's tzorech mekaymo.
No, then you need this because
That's what, if someone wants to put the plastic out, right?
You want to put the plastic on, right?
Yeah. You don't put a plastic out, and it's on the way. It's in the way. That's tzorech mekaymo.
It's over, then you can
Because you don't put the plastic over it usually. You usually take it off. You're not moving. I'm saying.
You're talking about a case where.
Okay, this is the very common shot. Happens a lot. People leave muktzah items lying around the house on Shabbos. It could be on a side table.
Or a kid might put something like that.
Or a kid might put something like
A
that.
pen or something like that.
Right. So that's the big machlokes in Achronim. What the halacha is in that case? Is it called tzorech mekaymo or not? There's a Tila David that says it's not called tzorech mekaymo. Shlomo Zalman, I think, is also machmir. He says it's not called tzorech mekaymo because you don't need the space. Tzorech mekaymo means you need the space that it's in. But if you don't need the space, just in your house, your dining room doesn't belong there, and it's bothering you there, and you don't want it to be in that space because that space is part of your
Shabbos.
Shabbos mood, whatever it is. Most of the Achronim come out that's not called tzorech mekaymo.
What if you want to move it so the kid doesn't play with it?
Something else. If you want to move it because you can't sit in the dining room with a hammer, because then your kids are going to take it and bang everything with it, then most poskim are matter. Even though you don't need mamish the space, but you're not going to be able to sit in your dining room because the hammer is there, and the whole time you'll be telling kids, don't touch.
It's
sakana for sure. Sakana for sure you can move it.
No, they're talking about like a toy. They've got lots of toys, right? They make a noise.
The toys in a muktzah.
They left it there. And on Shabbos day, you want to move it because it's going to play with it because he's a kid.
The kids, otherwise you can't sit because the kids are going to. So then a lot of places go mad to it. If you cannot use the room in the Maisa because of it, because that muktzah is there, that's called tzorech mekaymo. You don't have to sit in a different room because it's there.
But even in the case of the Rebbe just mentioned, where you're not worried about the kid banging
Right.
the table, it's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there.
You'd still be able to do kalachayad.
But we get to kalachayad. Kalachayad can move.
So there is a way to get.
Yeah, there's a way to get it. With the elbow, you can knock it off.
Right.
I'm talking about regular tiltal. I'm talking about regular tiltal, if you're allowed to do it or not. There's a famous shadow with the garbage cans, right? If the garbage cans in there, they take the garbage and Yom Tov happens a lot of times, they're sitting in front of your house. Are you allowed to move it to the back? So the garbage cans, most places come hold, it's called at least a klisham nachtal isser. It's meant for garbage in there, it's meant to store things. Maybe it's muktzah machmas mi, it's even worse. Are you allowed to move it to the back? Some places want to taina, it's called tzorech mekaymo. Because the garbage cans lying in front of your house is not a nice thing, it bothers you. So I want to move it to the back. So we must like in the place if you allowed to move it to the back or not. Because is that called tzorech mekaymo or not? So a lot of times these type of muktzahs that end up on your table, on your shelves, in your kitchen, and you want to move it on Shabbos. You have pens lying around on Shabbos, right? If you have to put them away, it's lying in your kitchen on the kitchen table, and it's not in your way, but it doesn't belong there. You're not moving on Shabbos. Most of the places where I say you cannot move it, it's not called tzorech mekaymo, even though it's bothering you where it is. And one big raya that they bring is from this Be'er Halacha we just saw. The Be'er Halacha is you have an empty pot lying in your kitchen. Are you allowed to move it or not? Now that pot bothers you, it's a dirty pot. Are you allowed to move it? So,
according to Graf Sharoi, then yeah.
Says the Be'er Halacha.
It's a clean pot.
Says the Be'er Halacha, you're allowed to move it. Why? Because it's a Graf Sharoi. Is mashma if it's a clean pot?
No.
And it bothers you, then you're not allowed to move it. He has to come onto the head of Graf Sharoi. Why does it come onto the head of Graf Sharoi? Why does it say a very simple thing? It's a dirty pot in your kitchen. It's a klisham nachtal isser. It doesn't belong. It bothers you that it's there. You're allowed to move it. Why? Because it's tzorech mekaymo. Why isn't it called that tzorech mekaymo? That's why you're allowed to move it. The Be'er Halacha has to come onto Graf Sharoi. Why does it have to come onto Graf Sharoi for? It's a mashma from the Be'er Halacha that a dirty pot that you're moving because it bothers you where it is not mutter to move only because of Graf Sharoi. Not called tzorech mekaymo. So the same thing, you have your rake in your front lawn, right? And it bothers you there. It's like, not mecham on the tail. You're not moving because you want to protect it. It's lying on your porch, on Shabbos, and you want to move it because it doesn't look nice over there.
It's a kind of for a break.
If it's sakana, you're allowed to move it. Not sakana.
Could you say the same svara of Rav Sharei with something like that?
Rav Sharei.
Rav Sharei, like it disturbs you. It's not nice in that
No,
environment.
Rav Sharei means
too,
no.
like pens and papers all over your Shabbos table.
It's not Rav Sharei. Rav Sharei because it smells, it's dirty. During the week, you keep your pens and your papers, right? You don't have dirty pots lying around. You leave pens and papers lying around. So the head of Rav Sharei is something that's dirty and disgusting. That's the head of Rav Sharei.
The dirty diaper is the Rav Sharei. That's
Yeah, dirty diaper is Rav
Where's the
Sharei.
distinction between Rav Sharei and Muktzah Machmas Miyas?
No, Rav Sharei is Muktzah Machmas.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, you're allowed to move it. If it bothers you, you're allowed to move it. If it
So
bothers you,
under the category of Muktzah
yeah,
Machmas Miyas.
Rav Sharei is Muktzah Machmas Miyas, but you're allowed to move it when it bothers you. It's a head to move, the Mos, but Rav Sharei is head to move. Fine, let's see a little right here. We skip out the parentheses here. In the Mechaber, when Mishtamish le'isir bebein hashmoshes, you go ner shehudlak, ayin le'el. Now, if you look at the Magen Avraham, it says Sivkot Vov, Mishtamish le'isir pirish hayamunach olav davar ha'asir. Not that you happen to have been using it for isir. Mishtamish le'isir doesn't mean you happen to have been using the hammer bein hashmoshes for davar asir. That's not what it means. It means munach olav davar ha'asir, the nasa basas davar ha'asir, if you happen to be doing a malacha ben hashmashas with the kornis, davar aser, doesn't make a muktzah the whole Shabbos. It means it became a basis the davar aser. For example, ner shehudlak. So the ner is also to move muktzah machmas gufoy. The candlestick now is a basis the davar aser, and you can't move it on Shabbos. You see Khan Zayin. Movement So he's talking about a case of where you picked up a kli shamlach l'isr, l'tzarech gufay or mekaymoi, and now it's in your hand. So the halacha is you don't have to just drop it right where you are. If you picked it up a heter, then you could bring it to wherever you want to put it down in a safe place.
And how far do you take that? Can you carry basically around the whole day if you want? Or
No,
do you have to
no. You have to put it down somewhere right away. Bring it to a different place if you want.
All right, but there's a time limit on it.
Yeah, you
or
have to,
distance even.
You can't be carrying it for no reason.
No,
That
but you want
point
to
is
say
no.
Once you
want to
pick
put it
it up.
in a
A
place.
safe place.
Right, but that could be a mile away too. There's no.
Yeah.
Because you want to put it in a toolbox.
Yeah, you're allowed to bring it to your garage and put it in the toolbox.
Right, so that's right. Okay, so
Yeah.
what the Magen Avraham says, once you pick it up,
Once you pick it up a heter, you're allowed to put it down wherever you want. Mutal, talpla,
even
put it
if
down
it's
wherever you
an
want.
hour later,
Right.
and it's
The place that you say you're not allowed to switch hands, it's already a new tiltal, or once you put it down for a second, it's already a problem. Putting it down for sure is a problem. But even some places, even switch hands is a problem. It's already called a new tiltal. Pick it up and let's put it down. Like you have to go get the key to the garage. You have to be careful. We open the garage, make sure where you're putting it is already a clear path, and then you can put it straight down. Otherwise, you may end up putting it down a second to get the key, and then it's too late. You blew it already. And then the Magen Avraham says, "Alicha beitz mokem the kivin to biyad shal tafla yosef." Nearly, tafilu shokach v'notla biyadai v'shoi latalpul yosef. So here's a chiddush of the Magen Avraham. If you don't need the tzarech gufay, you don't need the tzarech mekaymai. If you forgot it was Shabbos, and you picked up the hammer, am I allowed to now put it down wherever I want? So the Magen Avraham says, yeah, if you picked it up a shoygig, you're allowed to put it down wherever you want. And we'll see in the Mishnah Berurah over here that the Gemara argues on that. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah over here. So first of all, if you look at Mishnah Berurah Sivkot Yud Beis, it's also very important Mishnah Berurah over here. Bein l'tzarech gufa, bein l'tzarech mekami, you're allowed to move it. Umayri, she'ein loy kli heter l'tashmish zeh. You don't have a kli shamlach heter for this usage. The ilav hochi, ein loy l'shtamish b'kli zeh. If you do have a kli heter, you have a regular nutcracker, but you want to use the hammer, you're not allowed to use it. If you have a way of using a kli shamlach heter, you're not allowed to use this kli l'tzarech gufoy to crack open a nut. It's also to use it.
Question is just how much tirfa do you have to go through to be...
Yeah, that's a question. Yeah. If you don't have a different room or it's hard to get it, then it's mutter. Talking about pashas, it means you have a choice right here to use anyone you want, then you're not allowed to use the kli shamachta l'isser. Okay, lo nicha ve'ezim makayim, says the Mishnah Berurah here, the kivin shu b'yadoi, shenatlu l'tzarech gufay mekayim, v'shoy l'tatel l'yosef. The kosev magar Avram duodem shokach v'natlu b'yadoi, v'shoy l'tatel l'yosef. Av shenatila hayu shaloi l'tzarech gufa u'mekayim. V'ayim achroinim, she'echriyoi d'hai ha'teil l'shayich ela b'kli, she'malachta l'isser, v'loi b'muktzah machmas gufay, kegoyin mois, v'avonim u'chiyotze behen. So he says here, first of all, you have to know, even according to the Magen Avram, by mistake you picked up a kli she'malachta l'isser, the isser, shakach, you picked it up, the Magen Avram says, you're allowed to put it down wherever you want. You see the Gra argued even on that. But even according to the Magen Avram, says the Mishnah Berurah, this is only a head by a kli she'malachta l'isser. A muktzah machmas gufay, they picked up by mistake, you're not allowed to put it down wherever you want.
You have to drop it, you put it back where you took it from.
You drop it wherever you want. That means if you happen to have picked up your pants and there's money inside,
you put your hand in your pocket.
You put your hand and you find some money inside.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to put it down, you have to drop it right away. You're not allowed to do it. Money is muktzah machmas gufay. If you put your hand in your pocket and you have your wallet inside, let's say, and there's money inside, there's credit cards inside, let's say they're called muktzah machmas gufay. That's so simple. Credit cards that last week maybe kli she'malachta l'isser, and you can use heter also. But you have money in your wallet, you're not allowed to go ahead and put it down wherever you want. You have to drop it right away. There's no heter. Once it came into your hand, you're allowed to put it down wherever you want.
When you walk into shul, you can't drop it on the street.
You have to. If you realize it's in your pocket, you drop it wherever you want.
There's lots of money, somebody visiting from another place.
But you got to do that.
Somebody's going to say thank you and pick it up.
This is all according to the Magen Avram. We'll see, the Mishnah Berurah says now, Bira Gra Le'el, Semicha Ordination, if you base Chodesh al Magen Avram, Sfir Lei, Le'etidu, Elo, Kishhitzko, L'taltol, V'rshus. Only if you started moving it beheter. If you took a kli she'malachta l'isser, and you picked it up, so gufay mekayimai, then you're allowed to put it down wherever you want. But shakach, you picked it up by mistake, and it's be'isser, you have to drop it right away. And that's the way the Mishnah Berurah comes out halacha.
So you drop it in the middle of the hallway, so now you pick it up because it's Shreich Makoma. According to the Gra, you picked it up from the dining room table, you forgot, it's not called Shreich Makoma, you dropped it in the middle of the hallway. If you hold it's called Shreich Makoma, it's not my trip over it. That's only but that's only by a kli she'malachta l'isser. If it's money, you don't have the heter.
With money, though, what you could do is kick to the side. No, once you drop it.
We got to kick it to the side.
Cover, or you can couldn't you cover it?
Cover it. We got to kick it to the side soon. That's what it says here. Chemash Mevaran, Reshbei Ayin Sham. Okay, fine. Now the end of the Mishnah over here speaks about total begufay. I just wanted to show you one more thing before we get to that. We'll get to it soon. But it does say in Sifka and Tezvav. It says you're now allowed to move a mechama l'tzel, right? It's also to move a kli she'malachta l'isser mechama l'tzel. Or yigarev sham dehudumi de mechama l'tzel. V'ayidei eine Yehudi yesh loimer the shari b'chol zeh. Through a goy, you're allowed to tell a goy to move it for you. So here's a big heter. You have a kli she'malachta l'isser. This is only by kli she'malachta l'isser, it says it. Not muktzah machmas gufay. Muktzah machmas gufay we're not talking about over here. Kli she'malachta l'isser. They're now allowed to move mechama l'tzel to protect it.
Doesn't it?
But to tell a goy to move it, you're allowed to.
But it doesn't contradict that I cannot tell a goy to do anything for me.
So here's heter. Here people go has a heter, which is a very good heter. It's good to have this heter because if you left something, a kli she'malachta l'isser, in your front yard, let's say, right?
Can tell your neighbor.
Or in your dining room table, and you have a suffix. Is it called tzarech mekayim or not? Right, it's not called tzarech mekayim because we're going to pass in the chumrah. But to tell a goy to move it, that's already mutter. Tell a goy to take the hammer off the dining room table and put it someplace else, even though you don't need the space mamish, you're allowed to tell a goy to do it.
Even directly without any...
Even directly.
Right.
And why this we can?
The people got to tell Riches why explains why this kli she'malachta, because when the kli she'malachta l'isser, you're allowed to move it.
Right.
To There's no real Isser Muktzah on
Yeah,
it.
but that's more than.
Or Muktzah Machma is Gufoi. What we have to understand is that Muktzah Machma is a kiss. Muktzah Machma is Gufoi. These things, the Kli is also to move. It's Muktzah Torah. You're not allowed to move it. Or Kli Shemalachta Le'Isser, you're allowed to move. We didn't let you move in Mechamal L'Tzel. So it's not really that Kli has a Shem Muktzah on it. It's a Kli that has a Heter Tiltal. Therefore, the Pri Megadim says, you can tell a guy to be Metaltal to you, because our did Tiltal, Isser Tiltal, is not a real Isser Tiltal. Because you're allowed to move it, so I go for your Mechamal. On the Mechamal L'Tzel, we didn't let you do it.
But you are saying a guy basically to push your car into the garage because otherwise it will actually get wet if there's a thunderstorm coming on?
You can push it.
Push, as I say,
Yeah, but it's the Isser. A car is a Kli Shemalachta Isser.
Right, but I'm saying you just push it into the garage.
If it doesn't have to do any Issers of turning on the car,
No.
you have to push it, you can tell them. Yeah. Because it's a Kli Shemalachta Isser and you're allowed to move it. Mechamal L'Tzel.
Why do you have to tell them?
No, Kli Shemalachta Isser, you're not allowed to move Mechamal L'Tzel. You're not allowed to move Mechamal L'Tzel. So, and now look at the next one, Tezayin. The next Mishnah received called Tezayin Osir. V'im Choyshiv Olav Gam L'Tashmish Mutir L'Taltal Afilu Iker Kavanasai Mechamal L'Tzel. If you're doing it for Tashmish Heter also, then you can move it even Mechamal L'Tzel. Let's say you decide you want to use your rake to, I don't know, to do something in the back of the house, to open up the door outside, I don't know, to use it for something else, then you can move it Mechamal L'Tzel. Even though you have a mind to move it also Mechamal L'Tzel. But here, it's very misleading, the Lashon of the Mishnah Berurah. It's a mashma you can do harama. You could say, I'm using it l'tzarech something else, and you're really moving it Mechamal L'Tzel.
So I lift the hammer outside, I can bring the sun up and crack a nut.
Right, you can bring it outside to crack a nut. But you have to crack a nut with it, you can't be married. If they use it for cracking a nut, that's the difference. Ma'ara means, I could say, I'm using it to crack a nut, and then I don't crack a nut. Change my mind. You can't do that. Doesn't say that. You have to use it for establishment of heter, even though your main kavanah is Mechamal L'Tzel.
But you can't do that if you have a nutcracker there.
If you have a nutcracker, you can't do it, right? Because you have to use a nutcracker.
You don't know where it is.
No, but if you have a breaker.
You use the hammer now. Correct. So
Yeah, if you have a nutcracker in the house, you can't do it for that. You have to do something else. So haram is not mutter. Someone asked a question before if you're allowed to be married and say I'm using it for heter or l'tzarech rufoi, right? You can't be married. You can't make tricks. You have to use it l'maisa for something, and then you can move it even Mechamal L'Tzel.
But that is the harama.
No, haram is you're not doing the l'maisa. Haram is only when you're not doing the l'maisa.
So you
That
took
means
the hammer,
I
you don't
say
want it
I'm
to get
using
damaged, and then what? So
I say I'm using it to crack open a nut. That's harama, and you don't crack open a nut. That's called harama. If the mice I'm cracking open a nut,
even though you're not going, you don't want nuts.
Doesn't make a difference. As long as you use it for
You
heter,
put it for a doorstopper for 8 minutes, and then you're yoitza.
it's fine.
That's not harama.
That's not harama.
Okay.
I used it
It's
for.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, harama in the Gemara we find harama is that you're not doing it on mice for that reason.
So long
You
as
make
it-
believe
you
you're doing it for that
demonstrate
reason.
something.
As long as you demonstrate something for that reason, that's the heter of the Mishnah Berurah over here.
So if you went to get the hammer to crack the nut, in the meantime, by the time you got back, someone already cracked it for you.
No, it's you do.
What?
It's not very much you do.
Don't have to go put it back.
Yeah, you have to put it back.
Put it back in the sun.
You have to put it back.
You don't have to
They
put
need-
it back.
You don't. No.
You have to use it for something else, a doorstop? or-
I don't have to do something else. You picked it up to crack a nut. It wasn't harama. You really were going to crack a nut.
After shogeg,
Huh?
it's no worse than picking it after shogeg.
But we hold the show you have to drop it. We came out like the Gra.
Oh, right, we don't pass that way.
We don't pass out the Mogan Avram, we pass like the Gra.
Uh-huh.
The Gra says if you did it b'shogeg, you have to drop it.
It's a haram of a sugar.
There'll always be another nut to crack.
Somebody's head. That's also.
Okay, let's look now. At the end of the Mogan Avram, we left off with the Sif Kol Zayin. It says, Isa b'Shabbos, Tav Kuf Kol Zayin. See it?
Where are we?
In the Mogan Avram, Sif Kol Zayin, we stop in the middle. Isa b'Shabbos, Tav Kuf Kol Zayin, Shemutel l'taltal muktzah b'raglov, derech hiluchoi, v'chein kotel b'mechamasham, ayam asher kasafti s'meshin hei sifir aleph. Now, here he's talking about moving muktzah. There's a heter we spoke last week. They let him move muktzah k'lachayat. All these things we said down there, Krishna Machal Isser. Oh, one second, I'm sorry. I didn't finish the the Ramah. Hagar, says the Ramah. Kol muktzah eine asa ela b'tiltulai. Muktzah is only asa to move it. Aval b'negia, touching it, ba'almosh ein menadid lo, you're not moving it, shari. U'lechein liga, muta liga b'menoyah shebebayis, to Beis HaKnesses, shener is dolkus olav, you're not to touch the menoyah as long as you don't move it, or b'taylish adolik b'eish, you're not to take something, a davar heter that's long on davar muktzah. We'll see later on that by a tree, there's an issue in shtamshus. You're not allowed to use a tree on Shabbos. It's not muktzah, using it. So you're not allowed to take something off a tree, even though you're not moving the tree. Because we're taking it off, it's called a shtamshus. Here, by muktzah, he says it's not that way. You're allowed to take something that's not muktzah, that's lying on davar muktzah, you're allowed to take it off, even though it's called being mishtabes with the muktzah. Why? Because the muktzah is only an isser tiltal.
If a muktzah is on sitting on davar heter, you cannot take out the davar heter because...
No, that's something else. Because the muktzah is going to fall down.
Yeah.
So that's tiltal k'lachiyah. We'll get to that. V'chein mutal talta davar muktzah yidei nipuach, by blowing it, to lehava tiltal ela k'lachiyad, v'loy mikri tiltal. So here the Magen Avraham says Yisoid that the whole isser muktzah is only an isser tiltal, moving it. Now, if you move it regular with your hand, that's called moving it. There's something called, we spoke last week, tiltal k'lachayad. Tiltal k'lachayad means I'm not moving it. It's not called tiltal. If you move it with my elbow, the reason why you're allowed to move muktzah with the elbow is because it's not called tiltal.
Or regular tiltal, because you never do it with that, with the shoulder.
Right, you never do it with the elbow. So it's not called tiltal, that's the heter. It's only an isser tiltal. Moving it with your elbow is not called tiltal. Tiltal means with your hand. Another thing we spoke about last week was a tiltal min atzad. Right? That's something else. Tiltal min atzad means you're moving it for heter, and the isser is on it. It's also not called tiltal. We'll get to it later on. But here we're talking about tiltal k'lachayad. That you move it with your elbow, it's not called tiltal, or if you blow it, it's not called tiltal, therefore it's mutter. So the klal you have to know is that the heter is not because I'm doing it with my elbow. The heter is because you never move it with the elbow, so it's not called tiltal. But something that you usually move that way, it's called tiltal. Something you move with the back of your hand, it's called tiltal. Why? Because that's the way you move it. The whole heter of tiltal k'la'achayat is, since you don't move it that way, it's not called tiltal.
So is this a category of shinui? What do we call it?
No, it's not a category of shinui. Because shinui is never a heter. Do something there, shinui is not a heter. Here, it's heter legamri. You do it with shinui, it's mutter for a different reason, not because of shinui, because it's not called tiltal. That's the hemshech of the Ramah. The Ramah starts off saying, muktzah is only also a tiltal, not hishtamshus. And then it finishes off saying, therefore you're allowed to move it with a klachayad. Since the isser is only tiltal, this is not called tiltal. I'll say it's big enough for minutes. For example, you're allowed to blow something, right? Nipuach, it says, it's mutter. Right? Blowing it. If the way you move this thing is through blowing it, so that becomes awesome. You're not allowed to move it like nipuach.
So you mean derech till low? I mean the way, the usual method, the way of using
that's
it,
the way
that's tiltal.
That's tiltal. That's tiltal. You can't say I'm moving a pen with my fingers, so it's mutter on Shabbos. That's the way you move a pen.
Say, for example, a cabinet, if you push it, like you use your body to push, that's derech tiltal.
That's derech tiltal.
Right.
And we'll get to the main thing will be this thing of baragloi. So are you allowed to move something with your foot? So we'll get to in a second what the heter of the foot is. The pashas of the foot is something that's called tiltal klachayad. But let's say you want to play ball on Shabbos, and the ball is muktzah. Let's say a ball is muktzah on Shabbos. So you're not allowed to play ball on Shabbos. I was kicking you with my feet. That's its tiltal. That's its tiltal. It's tiltal. It's kicking with your feet, so you can't move it that way.
But now if you take it with your hand and throw it into the basket, then it's okay, because that's a football.
Like a baseball, you don't kick, right?
Right, baseball, you don't kick. A baseball, you're allowed to kick.
Yeah.
A soccer ball, you're not allowed to kick. A football, whatever you call it over here. You're not allowed
basketball, you're allowed to kick, because basketball is...
Yeah, you don't kick. If you're going to kick it,
so how can you play with the kids?
Penalty, whatever it is.
How can you play with the kids? Ball.
You said you could.
No, but I see many people do. That's what I'm asking you.
I feel like we're doing other things also.
So you see people...
Like we'll drive cars on Shabbos also, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
We'll get to the ball playing later on, at the end of the seminar. But
So that's what we have to remember. Anything that it's there, you have to move it. Another example, something falls on the floor, right? And the head is to kick it with your foot to the side. It depends what. Certain things that even during the week when they fall on the floor, you just kick it to the side with your foot. There's no head to Shabbos to kick it with your foot. That's it's there.
Money you never kick.
Money never kick, yeah. Money we'll get to. So now let's get into this head of regel. So says the Magen Avraham, Issa b'Shabbos hakuf chum zayin shemutal taltal muktzah b'raglov with your foot derech hiluchai chen chassid b'mechaber sham aymat shchsavti. So this heter comes from a Gemara in Shabbos. The Gemara in Shabbos says you want to get to certain food, and there's tfuah lying around. The tfuah is muktzah. You don't touch a tfuah on Shabbos. Tfuah is wheat. I guess you can't do anything with it on Shabbos. But the food that you want to get to is past it. So you want to kick the tfuah with your feet to the side to be able to get through to get to the food. So the Gemara says you ladder push the tfuah mutal taltal muktzah b'raglov derech hiluchai as you're walking, and I push it to the side to go get to the food. That's what the Gemara says. So if you look in the Levush Yisrael over here, look in the Levush Yisrael. Sorry, b'raglov derech hiluchai. Didn't ze heavy ha-Magen Avraham v'Simon Shalom and Gimel Sivkar and Gimel the Mishi yesh le tfuah ha-muktzah mutar lo l'asay shvil. He's allowed to make a pathway. B'raglov derech hiluchai shem dav tiltam min hatzad k'la'ach hayad v'tzorech davar ha-mutar. What does that mean? The tiltam min hatzad.
Two things.
The tzorech davar ha-mutar. Why? The tzorech achilasa. You want to go eat. Chamavuria Seif Simon Shinyan Aleph.
Alichato, not achilato.
Derech halichasai. Yeah, but it says later on achayad. The tzarich da mutar dahainu the tzarich achilasai. Achilasai to go eat. Chamavuria Seif Simon Shinyan Aleph. The tiltum and atzad. The tzarich davar hamutar shari.
Yeah, we got halichas with the hay.
No, where is the aleph? That's what I'm looking.
You say the tzarich halichasai?
Yeah.
Okay, same thing really.
You walk.
You walk. You want to.
Yeah, you go. You do the halicha is a davar mutar. The halicha is a davar mutar, or the achilasa is a davar mutar. The eating is davar mutar. I'm achilasa b'mir. Okay, same idea basically. So he says, "Chamavuy says Sibishin Yidalav the tiltam and atzad the tzarich davar mutar shari." They also ella im kain the tzarich hamuktzah atmai. If you read the Levush Yisrael, what's the heter over there moving the muktzah with your feet?
You need two things.
So he says, he says it's called derech hiluchai. I'm walking.
It's in the middle of my way.
Yeah, it's in my way. As I'm walking, I'm pushing it to the side as I'm walking. What am I doing? I'm not pushing the muktzah away by itself. I'm walking. As I'm walking, I'm pushing it away. Derech halichasai. Says the Chazon Ish. See, the Rebbe agrees to this. Says the Chazon Ish, the head of tilta k'la'achayad you don't have with your foot. Moving something with your foot is not called tilta min hatzad. Why? Because the Gemara doesn't say over there, you're allowed to just push the tfuah away with your foot. The Gemara says, why are you allowed to push it away? Derech hiluchai, as you're walking. The halich is a davar mutar. Or what I want to get to, the achila, is a davar mutar. I'm not pushing it away for the tfuah. I'm pushing it away because I want to walk or because I want to get to my food. Says the Chazon Ish, you see you have to come onto a heter of derech halichasai. That's the heter. But someone that to kick muktzah with your foot, says the Chazon Ish is awesome.
But isn't it?
That's total.
But isn't it l'tzach mekoma? Can't you argue that because you have to walk there, so that you can say it's basically l'tzach mekoma, and therefore you can.
Because you need to put your legs.
Tfuah is muktzah machmas gufay.
Right.
The whole heter of l'tzach mekoma is only chlitzim lachal iser.
Right.
Tfuah is muktzah machmas gufay. You don't have the heter by tfuah. So the heter is you can move it with your foot. Says the Chazon Ish, that's only derech hiluchai. So if you happen to be walking, so if money falls on the floor, according to the Chazon Ish, you want to kick it to the side, you're not kick it to the side, says the Chazon Ish.
Unless you're walking.
Unless you happen to be walking, and you're kicking it to the side for that. It's in your way.
But you could do a round on that. I'm
walking. I'm not sure if you do a round on that.
That's again Marve.
I'm not sure if you do a round on that. But usually it doesn't help. Usually you have to kick it to the side, all the way to the side. You have to make it
Well, you could say I could be walking. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, it's not so simple. According to Chazon Ish, if you look at the Mishnah Berurah over here, if you look at the Mishnah Berurah says over here, at the end of Sif Katan Yud Gimel, we didn't finish the Sif Katan, so we'll get back to it. It says, Isa b'sim eshin yud al Sif Ches. You see that? You see that? Isa b'sim eshin yud al Sif Ches. The tiltal, muktzah begufoi, afilu l'tzorech davar ha-muktzah mutter. The zeh lo nikra tiltal klal. Right? That's the Yisrael. If you're moving tiltal, if you're moving muktzah with your guf, that's it, with your body, with your shoulder, with your elbow, it says in Mishnah Berurah, it's a mutter. Why is it mutter? The zeh lo nikra tiltal klal. Very important words. Spoken about before. The reason why klal chayad is mutter, because it's not called tiltal. And the whole issue is only tiltal, not kudum shinui. And then he says, if there's some type of muktzah lying on the ground, a davar muktzah, mutter l'doichfoi v'raglov kadesh lo yavo lehafsid. You're allowed to push it with your foot in order that it shouldn't get ruined. So this is the hat that everyone uses to move muktzah with your foot. Right? This is the hat that everybody uses. Dor for beregel. Now, the Mishnah Berurah is not talking about the same case as the Magen Avram. When Avram says, Mutal talta muktzah b'raglov, derech hilucha, he writes the Magen Avram. Why does he add the words derech hilucha, the Magen Avram? According to the Mishnah Berurah, not derech hilucha. It's not called tiltal. You're allowed to move it with your foot, because it's not called tiltal. It's just like moving with your guf. The Magen Avram is a right to the Chazon Ish. I'll read to you also on Chazon Ish inside.
So the svar of the Mishnah Berurah is that he doesn't require that, or is he talking about a different case?
The Mishnah Berurah says the heter of your foot is not because derech haluchai.
You don't need derech haluchai.
You don't need derech haluchai according to Mishnah Berurah. Your foot is not called tiltal.
The way we present it is very strong. Why wouldn't the Mishnah Berurah, seeing the Magen Avram, need derech haluchai?
Derech haluchai, yeah. I don't know.
Do we have a reason? I mean, that's why I'm.
So I'll tell you like this. There's a, we'll get to it later on. There's a whole shy later on. If a sandal that broke, a shoe broke. So the shoe broke, there's a question of the muktzah, not muktzah, you let it put it on. And they asked in the Mishnah Berurah, what do you mean? It's, what's the shayla? Put it on, and it's, tiltal b'ragla is not called tiltal. Tiltal b'ragla is not called tiltal, according to the Mishnah Berurah.
It is for a shoe, though.
So the answer to the Mishnah Berurah is there, like I said to you before, there the way you wear your shoes with your foot. That's its derech to be metal. The question is tvua. The question is tvua. Is that darkar l'talta when you're walking in the field to push it with your foot? If you hold tvua, it's darkar to push it with your foot that way. Maybe that's why you have to come on over here to derech haluchai. Maybe. I'll read you the Chazon Ish here. Having the Mishnah Berurah over here.
We have the Shar Tzion also says that in Tzedai. He says basically yes, Shamu Shosri, Mikumakum Halot Derot Shonot Stam Kach Lakel.
Here, it says like this. It's the middle of the piece of the Chazon Ish. L'fi Omer, ein hetel klal l'taltal muktzah b'tchifat regel, b'tzorech ha-muktzah. If you're doing it for the muktzah, you're not allowed to move it. Moving muktzah for the muktzah, like means the money fell on the floor, you're kicking it. Chazon Ish holds, it's also to move it with your foot. But the Lord came to the Berurah Siman Shin Chasif Chayot Gimel, what we just saw now. Chem evui b'Gemara. The Gemara says, Oiseh shvil b'ragla b'knisasai b'tziyasai, u'mashma dafka b'knisa v'yitziyah, derech hiluchai, aval loy behedya. Only if you're doing it derech hiluchai, knisa v'yitziyah, in and out, you're not moving. But to move it behedya, dafka with your foot, it's awesome.
With the intent to move.
But mavuyim is there, ta'af l'tzorich mekoymai, also l'taltal muktzah b'ragla, for the mikri tiltal menatzad, ela tiltal gomer. It's Chazon Ish.
So if I did my elbow.
Elbow was mutter. Elbow is tiltal menatzad. Chazon Ish holds your foot is not called tiltal menatzad. That's called tiltal behavior. There's no head with the foot. Depends if you're Chazon Ish or you go out to Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah says it's mutter. Chazon Ish holds also.
So hold on. So in what case? So according to the Chazon Ish, what would he call?
Tiltum.
Yes.
Your elbow, blowing it, your goof, you push something with your back. That's called tiltum minatzad.
What about using a
Cut the foot.
kli that you
No, a kli to go take.
normally use?
No, to go take a kli and move it, push it with a kli. That's something. Something we'll see later on. It's your hand. It's an extension of your hand. We'll see if that's called tiltum minatzad. Take a kli and push it with a kli. That's what's said about tiltum
Let's say
minatzad.
you're walking and there's a star on the front of money and unfortunately you step on it and it's stuck actually to your boot.
This happened to you?
No, it's not it's stuck, you know.
All the funny things happen to him.
I don't have to call it tiltum. That could be called tiltum minatzad.
Because that's kind of.
Could be. You know, pushing it with your foot is not.
Money sticks to this guy.
Yeah, I said that.
One more Magen Avraham over here, Sif Khan Ches. Av Mechamel Atzel, we're supposed to be in the Mishpur over here. V'yisa b'Yishami Perikei, the Beya, Kishemechashev Allah L'Tashmash Mutter, Mutter L'Talpala, Afilu Ikka Kavanase, Machma Mechamel Atzel. If you're doing it for a tiltal, heter, so it's mutter.
The question is with the foot. What's in this?
Okay.
So again, a broom. A broom is mutter, like is a broom like normally muktzah and Shabbat?
No, broom's not mutter.
No, it's heter,
Need to
right?
clean.
But you wouldn't normally use a broom
For what?
for sweeping up money.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't normally use a
Right.
broom. So
No, but the question is being with tiltal. The sign over here is, and we'll see more later on, is that tiltal means I move something with my hand. Right? If I don't move it with my hand, I move with my elbow, it's not called tiltal.
right,
If you pick up something that has heter and isser in it, right?
right.
You don't pick it up that way. It's still called tiltal minatzad. Anything you pick up with your hand, it's called tiltal minatzad maybe. So when you're moving muktzah with a broom, as long as you're using your hand to move it, that's what it's called tiltal.
Because the
It may
broom
be
is not
tiltum
an extension
minatzad.
to your hand.
Maybe tiltum minatzad. Tiltum minatzad is not a heter to move muktzah. It's a tzorech of a muktzah. Why? Because that's already tiltal. The only heter is not called shinui. If it's shinui, so it's not the regular way. It's okay. I don't usually move money with a broom, so it's a shinui. Okay, but shinui is not a heter. Shinui is not a heter. The main thing you have to remember over here is that the heter by tiltal is because it's not tiltal. It's not called moving anything. When you move something with a broom and you're using your hand to move it, it's called tiltal. Anytime you use your hands, it's called tiltal. Okay, next thing I guess we'll go into Shabbat Heter.